Hey guys, happy Thursday. I am so excited to release this episode. Before I get into the episode, I just wanted to let you know of some fun things happening around the area. Hopefully I get this out today because there are a whole bunch of shows this weekend that you need to know about. So Friday, May 19th, Zach Michaud is playing in Arlington at the Lounge in Mose. Corey Vincent and his electric band are playing the Beach Bar in Birch Bay. And there's also a Western themed party happening at the Hub. Oh, and I saw that Chris Eager is playing at Lyman Tavern. I haven't seen Chris before, but I heard he's really good. Now, if that's not enough, there's also a lot of shows on Saturday. And these are pretty big. So there's one in Anacortes, and I think it's called the AMP Prom. So there's The Enthusiasts, Bare Feet, Randy Weeks, and Jack Mattingly. I've never heard Randy Weeks, but if he's on the bill with those three other acts, I'm sure he's great. Let's see. Oh, there's also Zach Michaud is playing in Birdsview, and Lazy Acres is playing in Bellingham in Das Schweschenhaus or something. I know where that place is. It's pretty central, but I just don't know how to pronounce it. Sorry. I think that's it for shows this weekend. I'm actually not going to any of these shows. I'm donating plasma on Friday night. And I'm going to a show in Seattle with my buddy I'm donating on Friday, and I'm going to a show in Seattle on Saturday. I'm going to go see Dan Manigan. He's from Vancouver, and he's a great artist. You should check him out. He had a really great song years ago called Road Regrets. That was one of my favorite songs for a while. But yeah, his stuff is awesome. So there's a race coming up in Renton at Lake Young, and it's a loop race. It's a 9-mile loop that I'm going to attempt to do 21 times. So I'm running the Pigtails 200. It starts Thursday the 25th and it goes to Sunday the 28th. If you would like to show up and pace me for a loop, you can bring your bike if you want, or you could just walk with me. I'll be running the first day, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I will be walking. I'll be walking or sleeping or eating. So feel free to come out and hang out. Notes about the episode. I cut out the story of how CJ and I met, only because I want CJ to eventually come on this podcast. And then we can talk about how we met in detail. This was a super fun episode with Clay and Emma. I really want to have more couples on, rehash old fights, open some old wounds. Just kidding. We had a really good time, and I actually got some more equipment that hopefully works, and I can have 3 or 4 mics soon. So Trisha and Beth, we will record together very soon. The one thing I really wanted to talk about in this intro was there's a mountain film festival happening in Concrete June 1st through the 4th. The tickets to the first show on June 1st are free. You have to go online and get a ticket, but it's free. Saturday, June 3rd is my favorite day of all the days, though. I encourage you to spend the whole day in Concrete. There's a 5K happening with the local running group called the Concrete Crushers. It's kind of like a Girls on the Run type group, but with boys and girls. Mike McKnight, he's one of the best ultra runners in the country right now. He's going to be live in Concrete with us. He'll be presenting his film that was directed by Matthew Van Horn about his epic FKT on the Colorado Trail. Mike and I will also be on stage after the film with Wes Plate and Alicia Jenkins. Alicia's from Bellingham, Wes is from Snohomish. So all 3 athletes ran the Cocodona 250 a few weeks ago, and they're going to get together and talk about their adventures. You can ask questions about the film. If you're an ultra runner, you don't want to miss this. But also, if you just want to be inspired, come, bring your family. Mike's film is completely appropriate for any age. He shares his story about being bullied as a kid, not feeling like he fit in, living in a small farming town, and now he's winning 200-mile races, coaching other athletes, married with 2 kids. I think that just watching the film could change someone's life, and it'd be really cool for a kid to, watch that film and then meet him in person, and I think it would just be a great experience. If you buy a ticket for Saturday, you also get access to the whole day, though. If you go to the website, mountainsonfilm.com, there's all all the information about all the events happening for the whole weekend. So, for example, like Andy Porter is doing a photography workshop Saturday morning. Olive and I are going to be presenting at 1:00 along with a bunch of other amazing women talking about getting out and being active. There's live music at 4, and then Mike and I will be our events at 6 until 8. And it says 6 until 8, but I could just imagine us going over, but we'll see. There's also, so the theater is right next door to an ice cream parlor, and it's a theater. So there will be popcorn, there will be ice cream, and they also have 2 taps as well. So I believe they have an IPA on right now and something else. So it's going to be a really, really fun time. And if that's not enough, there's also live music at the Hub at 8:00 right next door with Savannah Woods. And so come in the morning, do the 5K with us, 10:00. It's by donation. Run with some kids, have some lunch at 5B's Bakery, attend a few inspirational things at the theater, and then finish it up with a drink at the Hub while listening to awesome live music. So yeah, super, super fun. I'm so grateful that that Val from the Concrete Theater brought me on to help out with this Mountain Film Festival, and I'm already lining up people to come for next year. One more thing I wanted to say too. The next 3 weeks are so busy. We also planned a road trip for as soon as school's out. But it's not like an annoying kind of busy. It's like a good kind of busy. It's productive, you know? And my mentor, Tom, recently sent me this quote from George Bernard Shaw, and it really resonated with me. So who knows, I might even get this entire quote as a tattoo. Anthony, I'll let you know. Okay, I'm going to end on this. Oh, also, I recorded with Olive maybe 2 weeks ago, and it was an intro for, I think, Charlie's episode 17, and it was half an hour. She was so hopped up on sugar. It was hilarious. I couldn't air the whole thing, but the reason why I'm talking fast is because I'm going to put a little bit of that intro also in here. So it's going to be me talking, and then Olive being silly, and then Clay and Emma's episode. So a lot of fun things happening in this podcast. I think like I said, she was really hopped up on sugar. So hopefully she doesn't re-listen to it in the car and be horrified that I put it out. Okay. Here's a quote from George Bernard Shaw. "This is the true joy in life. Being used for a purpose, recognized by yourself as a mighty one, being a force of nature instead of a feverish, selfish little clod of ailments and grievances, complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy. I am of the opinion that my life belongs to the whole community, as long as I live, it is my privilege to do for it what I can. It is a sort of splendid torch which I have got hold of for the moment, and I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations." All right, I'm going to end on that quote. Send me a message if you have any questions on the Skagit Storytellers Instagram page. Have a great day and go do something hard. Olive's other favorite song is called Olivia by the Wolves of Glendale. And there's a couple curse words in it.
She makes me float and toast around. She makes me toast and floats around. And when I travel, she feeds on my cat. Sometimes she wears a sheet as a joke. You're cracking me up, Olivia. Fades out.
What's that puppy's line?
Stealing a puppy is pretty easy, though I feel pretty guilty for the owners and the puppy every week. But I'm in love, and love is crazy, and it's not me, it's the love beats me, and I'm still a man who feeds her a puppy. So forgive.
Wait, you think he says forgive?
Forgive me. What does he say?
Oh, I thought he swore there.
What? I thought he said forgive me.
Oh, maybe he does. What's that little refrain that we always say, though?
Oh,
Something about
multiple puppies.
Oh, sacrifice a puppy for love.
Sacrifice a puppy for love. You gotta sacrifice a puppy for love. Multiple puppies. Yeehaw.
I'll tell people, yeah, listen to this episode. Charlie Kringle, such a great musician. And then the first 10 minutes is just my 10-year-old singing off key. We haven't done any ads yet. Okay, let's do an ad for the hub. You go.
Welcome to the hub, humans. Welcome. This is an intergalactic place. There could be aliens, solar system dogs.
Okay, let's try again. All right, I'm going to do an ad for the hub. Ready? All right.
It wasn't done.
Do you think that concrete is only driving by the silos on Highway 20? You're incorrect. You should go one block up into town and you'll discover the Hub Tavern. Olive loves the Hub Tavern. She plays pool there. She's a shark. Make a shark sound. I also do trivia there on Wednesdays starting June 21st. I'll be doing trivia from 6 until about 7:30 or 8. Come early. There's limited seating. It's so much fun. Olive, are you going to be at trivia?
I think so.
Yes, you are. You're going to be on Team Upriver with Dad.
I am.
And Kevin, yeah.
I'm being forced. I'm not.
So we have trivia on Wednesdays. There's karaoke on Saturdays, 9 o'clock with Terry. What else? What else is happening at the Hub? There's usually live music on Fridays.
Yeah.
Well, Sherry and Gretchen play at 5:30, and then there's live music, some sort of awesome band, 7:30ish, maybe 8. What else?
Can I do my ad?
Wait, you can also buy the pickle.
I was gonna.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Have you ever wondered where to spend 15 smackers? And so go to the Hub, and if you have 20, buy yourself a drink. It could be a soda. It could be a beautiful Heineken.
We should
Zero.
we should do a special, like buy a Coors Light and a pickle for $20.
Or you can go there with 20 smackaroos.
Why are you saying smackaroos?
Why? They're beautiful.
Smackaroos?
They smell like paper.
You can also buy Olive's books in the liquor store. And the liquor store is open from 11 to 7 now. 6 days a week. I think they'll be open Sundays, though, at some point.
Liquidor store.
It's the liquor store.
Liquidor.
Liquor/records/crochet items /earrings /cigars
Food. Oh,
food?
No food.
Well, there's snacks.
Oh, yeah.
/pickle books
Yeah, pickle books.
/ what else is there?
Shots.
Oh, they sell tea. Loose leaf tea.
Oh, they also sell Fuego.
They sell you just say Fago.
Oh, Fago. Sorry.
They sell Detroit's finest soda, Fago.
Yeehaw.
They also sell non-alcoholic beer
For 20 smackaroos.
that they bought for me. No, I believe it's a 6-pack for $15.
15 smackaroos.
And all of the liquor store prices have tax included.
Hopefully.
Oh, also there's 2 cats at the liquor store.
Beautiful baby kitty.
But you can't buy them. What's the baby's name?
Peterson.
Peterson. Is there a story behind his name?
You can ask Jeremy. Not my problem.
Olive, anything else for the good of the podcast?
Have a good day, humans.
Visit Olive's pickle book links. Buy her books.
Yeah.
Actually, no, don't buy her books.
No.
Buy my books.
Mom,
buy my ultra running
please,
books.
it's a 10-year-old that made this. Come on, you have to. It's
No, they
literally
don't.
obligated. Obligated.
There's a lot of kids' books out there. There's not very many ultra running coloring books.
But there is.
No, there's not.
But is there any
Made
pickle
by
bones?
an ultra runner.
Is there any pickle bones
Probably.
that poop out a fart and then shart a fart and then make it yard the fart with 20 smackers?
This is literally the plot of the pickle.
I should probably just
Olive's running out now. All right, I'm probably going to edit that severely. I love you, Olive.
Howdy, partner. Welcome to one of the most northern parts of the United States of America. Travel with me upriver as we talk to a bunch of ladies and fellers and they share their tales of wit and wisdom. That's right, it's time again for Skagit Storytellers with Liz Rankin.
No, so yes.
I'm going to write down how many times she
Emma-
rolls her eyes at you.
Emma and
That's
I
fine.
were on HGTV's Tiny House Big Living season 8?
13, 25.
Oh yeah, season 13, episode.
13.
Okay, so it's season 8, episode 13.
So did you see the show and you were like, that's it. Like, this is, I need to be on this show because I'm big. Is that, how did you,
No, my sister asked. Like my
the
sister
sister that
sent-
I know? Or do
Yeah.
you have two
Yes.
sisters?
No, I have
No,
one
he has-
sister.
Okay.
My sister sent me the she said that HGTV was looking for people to sign up to be on the show, and she sent it to me. And I was between an old life and a new life at the time, and my friend was building tiny houses, and in order to promote his business, and I wanted a tiny house.
Yeah.
I just sent a submission, and they called us back the next day.
They're like, how tall are you?
Yeah,
You're
they said
in.
like you're literally the tallest person that's ever applied for the show. We would do anything to have you on it. And
Wow.
Whenever they do the shots, like with the both of us talking, I had to stand on a box so we could both like be in the shot together.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
so yeah.
All right. So you did it you filmed it in your yard, or how does that work? Because it's a tiny home. So did you build it somewhere else and then just move it, or
they built it in Everett at the shop.
Oh,
and so
okay.
we filmed it, some of it there, and then most of it was in our backyard.
Yeah.
They built the shell, which is just the exterior and the roof, and then some wiring, and then we did the rest of it at our property. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And would you, like, 10 out of 10, like, recommend it?
I mean,
You would recommend it, and
it
you
was
would
an
not?
experience.
What were, like, the biggest?
10 out of 10 for experience points.
Well, from the beginning to the end, how long was it?
9 months?
9 months?
No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what they did. So
6? 4?
HGTV.
We lied about the dates.
Yeah, HGTV came out for 3 2-day shoots.
Yeah.
So they filmed like the start when like the shell arrived, and then the middle, and then
The end when it was,
when
like-
we were completed. Yeah.
Oh, they only filmed you for 6 days? Oh, okay. I was thinking it was longer.
No.
Well, they set up some like time lapse.
Yeah, and it's like a 22-minute episode, maybe even that.
Okay.
Yeah, but they set up
Yeah.
some time lapse cameras for like some of the work, and then I filmed some 4K stuff for them and sent it along
In between.
like in between. But yeah, they were only there for 6 days total, but it took 9 months, 8 or 9 months.
Yeah.
To actually get it done. But I was working remote for the time, so I was only home
On the
2
weekends.
days. Yeah, 2 days every week, and then I would fly out for my job. So
Oh, wow.
I'd be in like hotel rooms across the country, researching stuff, buying stuff, and then I would come home and be there, and then I would spend nonstop from the moment I landed to the moment I left, just working on the house. So
Yeah.
and Emma was in
I was in Boston.
Boston the whole time. So
Oh, because you built it.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Was it like a kit that you...
Well, his best friend at the time worked for the company.
Oh, okay.
So we went through the company for the shell and everything, and then his best friend kind of helped us build it,
Right.
teaching Clay what to do, and then other friends kind of stepped in and helped too.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
for the show.
Yeah.
For the,
Yeah.
yeah, as like a learning. They wanted to treat the episode as like a learning process for people that are like, yeah, anyone can do it, even this giant idiot.
Which Clay said in the show.
Yeah,
What did you
multiple
say? He's like,
What I
Even
like,
me.
Oh yeah, what I like about this process is I don't know anything.
I don't know anything. And then it's like this awkward long pause.
Yeah.
He
Is
also
there like banjo music in the background, like
I
Three
know,
Stooges
right?
type, like sound effects when you're trying to use a hammer? And do they add those things in?
they should have.
They should have. No, they actually.
Our ratings
they
would have gone
cut-
through the roof.
They cut almost every funny moment.
And the amount of times he said, "I just can't wait to touch and feel it,"
Yeah.
was like over 20 times.
In the show that they didn't cut?
No, they
Or-
did. They
They
cut
did.
most of
They
it.
cut most.
Okay.
I think 5. Like
But
Were
he
you just
said
trying,
it-
as a joke, trying to see how many times you could squeeze that
there
in?
were okay. So there's 2 things I
think
did.
it was
I
a joke.
No, I said touch and feel as many times as I could, and then also I did. There's another podcast out there, the My Brother and Me.
Oh,
with the
yes.
the McElroys. I did as many times as I was on camera. I did the good job hand movement, the 2 pump horn honk, good job. Anytime I was on camera, and they cut around it every time.
Did they know, you think?
I
Maybe.
up for sale, so it was either my sister and I. My sister didn't want it, and we decided to get it.
Yeah.
And so there's no need to live in the tiny house, and we sold it to this young couple from New York.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest. Oh my!
It was kismet, but it was
Yeah, it was
very-
kismet and beautiful, but like it was
Also,
this
like what?
this young couple from New York moved out to
Portland, this like female-owned island off of Portland to make soap and like.
There's a female-owned island off of
it's a
well,
Native
it's
American.
Native
owned.
American, but it's a female Native American who
Oh,
owns it, and they
okay.
like
It's a compound.
use things on the. They grow like herbs and flowers and like
Yeah.
make things with them.
Yeah. And so they moved from New York, gave away like I think the husband was some sort of like day trader. They made a ton of
Sold
money.
everything.
They sold everything they owned, and then they were looking for tiny houses. They contacted us 2 days after quarantine.
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
and said like, hey, we know like the regulations. We want to come like see this place. And we had it on Facebook for 3 months, like on
Yeah,
Craigslist.
and then we
whatever,
Okay.
paid to put it on like a special like,
Yeah, we paid
tiny
to-
house site for
to-
sale.
to push it,
Oh.
and they came out, and thank God it was a sunny day, because from our property you can see Mount Baker.
Oh, nice.
And this lady came in that makes like, okay, just to sum up this person, she brought us custom soap
that she
that
harvested,
she
the
harvested
herbs.
the herbs during like the second moon of Scorpio or something like and blessed it in like blessed it
at,
in a
like, 2
river
a.m. in the
naked.
river.
Like she told me this whole story.
She birthed it.
And she's like, I
sometime.
got you this soap because I'm feeling this thing. And then she walked through, and I told her the story of like us building it, and that we had built it, like I'd built it for Emma so she could come and move out here. And then the sun came out and the clouds parted, like Mount Baker was standing there, and she turned to her husband like, "We'll take it." Full asking price.
She takes out this
Full
bar of
asking
soap
price.
wrapped in wax paper, and she's like, I made this. I didn't know if I'd give it to you, but it just feels right.
Yeah. She's like, the energy. We wanted to come
The
here, and
energy
we
is
wanted to see the
amazing.
energy. We wanted to see, and like now that I see this mountain, and this mountain has been naming this spot for thousands of years, and this house has lived here for the 2 years. And your guys' story, we're gonna take it. I'm like, love doing business with
You're
you.
like,
This
all
is
I heard was we'll take it, okay?
just like, yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're
no
amazing,
negotiations,
but
just like, yeah.
How was the soap? I need to know.
It was
was
really,
great.
it was
It was
really
very nice.
super great soap.
super great stuff.
They do.
They have their own company
what is it?
now.
Is
They
it-
do
We'll put it in the notes.
punch needle.
Yeah, they sell like
Oh.
punch needle kits.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
It's really cool.
they lived in they
sold
sent us a message because we didn't need to, but I did a full like video and book of how the tiny house worked.
Yeah.
Like everything that could go wrong, what I installed, what was like on code, what was off code.
Okay.
I
Like a
just
user manual.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
complete user manual. And they contacted us during when Oregon was having those fires, and they sent like a message like, outside right now, if we step out, we will die. And I'm sending you like the meters for like the errors. Like, we just want to thank you right now for building this. So like,
Oh my
like,
gosh.
we've been in contact for like, we send the messages like when Shiloh was born.
Yeah.
We send them messages, and they sold it last year to a older couple who took it up to Vancouver Island.
It went on 3 ferry rides.
Really?
Free Fairyland. It's so sitting on Vancouver Island.
Do you know where? That's where I'm from.
As
yeah.
no, it's up there as like a
It's
summer
just-
home.
They had
Wow.
property and they wanted a little house.
Well, find out where on the island.
Yeah.
I'd love
Okay,
to
yeah.
check it out.
Yeah. You can go rent the
Yeah.
tiny house.
That's
it's out there
cool.
still
it's
to
in
this day.
Canada now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So that was your TV experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
What was the point?
But
Yeah.
my way with words was they would like, so there were the camera crew, you know, everything. And then there was like the one like manager
Yeah.
who would kind of like have the questions ready, and like she would prep us beforehand, and I would just say like what I needed to say, and it was great. And then she'd be like, okay, now say that and roll. And she'd roll like the camera, and I'd be like, what did I say? I can't remember. What's the question? It was so bad. We had to do so many takes.
Really?
And finally I was like, just piece together my words and like,
Were you teaching before that?
no.
I was just thinking maybe they thought, oh, you're a teacher, so you'll be fine at this. But
No.
No,
You
she
guys
just had
are
her-
5, so it's very hard.
She had her teaching degree.
Yeah, I just literally moved here.
Yeah.
I
because
just
you moved
finished,
from
Boston.
right. Okay. Yeah.
I lived there for 9 years, and I was a nanny, and I did my master's there, and then I literally finished, packed up, and drove out here.
Yeah. Yeah. And near the end of our first episode, Clay said, oh, I got to tell you about, was it the first time you guys hung out, your first date,
Oh,
or
no, just like how
How we
crazy.
met.
or
Yeah, how absolutely crazy it is.
yeah, that you guys met?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you meet in a bar in South Korea?
No.
That would be
I don't mean to
cooler.
one up you,
I
but
guess.
that's
You met-
Now
that's-
our
where you met
story's
your
not
that's
cool
pretty
enough.
good.
Is that where you
Wait,
guys
you met your husband in a South Korea bar?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe your story first.
Yeah, yours is better. Go.
Yeah,
No,
go.
so-
Have you told it on this?
Well, I feel like I've told it, but I think I always cut it out. So I'll leave it in this time.
Yeah.
So he had murdered 3 people.
No, it was a little dramatic. So I was teaching in the Middle East, and it was,
Sorry. Wait.
and then he said, still works, by the way.
yeah, I know. I was like, you guys have a
Oh,
daughter.
okay. Anyway, and that was the first like minute of us meeting. Yeah,
Still works.
at a bar called the Speakeasy in Gwangju, South Korea, owned by 2 Canadians. Yeah. So, yep. And
Well,
then we
I
got
think that's
engaged.
sweet.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I mean, the only thing I'll give is that I stood Emma up on our
he
first
did
date.
stand me up.
Oh, I could top that. I told CJ I loved him, and he said we should break up.
Oh my God!
So there we go.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
similar?
Clay literally was like, if you want to, you can sleep with the bartender who was our friend. He's like, I know he's really attractive. If you want to sleep with him, you can, but just so you know, I love you. And I
No,
was like,
no, that is not the story.
And this was your first date.
no,
No.
no.
like 2 months later. And then I was like, what? And I didn't even say it back. And then we got home that night, and I was like, okay, fine, I love you too. And I
That
won't
was
sleep
the
with
I love
Yarn.
you conversation.
It's not.
I
Okay.
guess I won't sleep
That's
with Yarn.
not how that went. But that's fine.
That is
But
the spark note.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
The spark notes of
Okay.
that is yeah.
All
How
right.
did it go in your brain? What's the story your brain made?
Well, I still remember the first time I told you. It was a drink, which was the place that we were first supposed to meet, and then we had like our first date in Boston at, and then it was the second time I was at Boston, but you like I was out of a 9-year marriage, and it was like this point it was like, okay, this is a person that's quite a bit younger than I am, and things have like changed, and I don't want to be
7 years.
don't want to be like too I don't want to be too high pressure. I don't want you to be like, I still like we weren't living together, and I was like, I want to like travel back and forth. And she kept talking about like how sexy she thought our bartender was,
I don't remember
and
this.
B, how much she was trying to hook her up, like
Okay,
hook up the
I
bar,
also
hook up
had-
all of her friends, her female roommates with that bartender. So
How
like
does that mean that I'm gonna sleep with him?
it's still equivalent of like, I can't do that, so I'm gonna pass him off to like my friend. So I was trying to be like, this guy's like,
Pimp
it's
him
fine,
out.
and also Jan grew to like love us.
Okay.
So there have been times where we put like a $200 bar tab down,
Mm-hmm.
and he charges 25 cents for a drink called "Good to See You Again."
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this was a situation like drink was like I'd always call when I came back into town to see if he was there. We'd only go when he was there. He was supposed to be the officiant at our wedding
Yeah.
before COVID shut it down.
Wow.
Yeah, like he was supposed to come out because all these pivotal moments happened with him around. Our first fight was from a rosé party at his house. Like
That is
our first
true.
ever fight. But like I still remember the conversation I was like, yeah, if you want, like if it's such a big deal. And Emma got like super frustrated. I'll get in there.
Well, I feel like we should have shirts that say either Team Clay and Team Emma, and people are going to choose. Yeah.
Here's the thing.
It'll
It's
go
me,
on the
though.
merch
It's
store.
always me.
I'll top it off because like I just out of nowhere like, and this is again a year and a half out of a 9-year marriage,
Okay.
and I'd gone through pretty much like in my like emotionally like hell on earth.
Yeah.
It was like real bad divorce.
Yeah.
And I was being really sensitive, and like Emma was the first person that I was like started to see like exclusively, and then it got down to this point where like sitting in the bar, and after all that she like got really mad. She's like, "What is your game? Like, what is this? Why do you keep telling me like I don't want to fuck the bartender? Like, what is this deal?" And it was just like I'm sorry. I'm just reflecting, and I should have just said simply like I should have just said that I love you, because if I can like sit here at this bar and say like I love that cheese that he just gave us, then I should be able to say that I love you, because both things are true. Like, and I do. Like, I love you. And then she's just like, okay. And then we ordered another round, and I had to wait for 4 hours
Okay,
for
mind
a
you,
return, like a
like,
return.
he is he was my first boyfriend.
Yeah.
Nope.
So that's our level of farming.
So you couldn't Rambo a deer like Wes was talking
No.
about
No.
earlier.
Was that on the podcast you talked about Ramboing?
No,
Oh, that was
no.
off podcast. Wes Jones just Ramboing a deer.
I mean, the worst I've ever done is just throwing those baby mice in the
Oh, yeah.
It's as bad as my murder of animals got. I also one time in high school hit a possum.
Oh, did you?
I was a senior and I was driving a freshman home, and I went over a hill and like hit a possum, and then her name was Sterling, and she looked back and she's like, "It's still alive. You have to go mercy kill it." And I was like, "No, I can't."
And you didn't?
No.
No. Yeah.
It's combining tiny houses
Oh, yeah.
and possum killings.
Oh my god.
Was this on the show?
No.
No,
Okay.
Okay. In
no.
our
So
tiny
just like a thing
house.
about
Oh.
tiny houses, if like living in them is an experience.
Okay.
It's like a cabin.
Yeah.
But you're also on wheels and shocks, and you're out. If like for us, we're like out in farmland.
And we weren't like
And-
off grid. Like we hooked
No.
up to Clay's mom's power and her.
So you could
water.
see your house.
Yeah,
Like,
we
you
could see
weren't
like
far
the
away.
other house.
So when like in the dead of winter,
Which
when
we had
our
to make sure you also have
pipes-
to like time it so that like the tiny house wasn't shaking when you was looking out the kitchen
Or
window.
she would literally get home from work, like put her keys down and go, "Neighbor."
The thing's on shocks, and there's weights on the bed.
Or
Anyway.
you'd be like in bed and getting down, and you just look out, and she's like washing her dishes at the kitchen sink.
The tiny house is rocking.
Cool.
Please go somewhere else. No, so anyway, the most terrible, like it was like the most country moment for Emma, and I still like it still made me laugh because it's like 2 a.m, and we're in the tiny house, and I'm sleeping in the elevated loft, and all of a sudden, like 2 a.m, we both wake up because there is a loud slam on the roof. And a death shriek, just some.
Like never heard the sound.
Never
in our
heard the
life.
sound. Never will hear it again.
Can't reproduce it. Nothing.
Emma just like grabs me and shakes me because I'm already awake, but she shakes me. Was like, "Were you gonna check what that is?" And my response was, "Fuck no."
And so I sat on YouTube googling like, what does a dead possum sound
Yeah,
like?
what does the following dead thing sound
Wait,
like?
didn't you have to Google what a cougar sounded like?
That was our
yeah.
first date.
Okay, we'll get to that
First
later.
date we
but
got tracked.
I
by
just love how
cougars.
that's like your automatic reaction. Like,
right?
Oh, just like,
what?
I'm not going outside to check what the screaming thing
I know,
that
I
hit
was like, go see.
hit our roof. It hit our roof.
I'm not going out, but you can do it.
So either it's something dropped from the sky by an owl, like
Was there a tree
or
above
hawk-
you?
No,
We think an
not at
owl,
all.
or because it was the dead of night, so you
Yeah.
assume like an owl
or
caught
like an owl or a hawk.
something,
Yeah.
and then they like drop it to kill it, and it just happened to like slam a.
They're like, there's a metal roof. I'll drop it on that.
Oh,
It'll
yeah.
break its neck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it took a little longer because it's cedar shake, so it's not metal.
Really absorbs
Just
the
real
liquid.
hurt.
Stupid owl.
When we came out,
Got
like
some
there
splinters.
was in the morning there was nothing there, but like
Oh,
that was
you didn't even see it.
immediate
Oh.
phrase of like someone that's not lived in the country versus like just like, go check to see what that was. No, absolutely not. Why?
Also from
Whatever
the
it
girl
was
who
doesn't need us involved.
Yeah,
Want
yeah.
to save a possum's life? Like mouth to mouth on a possum.
in Boston one time I had a window AC unit and a cicada flew up through the AC and out of it into my room, and cicadas are like
Like giant bugs.
giant bugs.
Yeah.
And I had to like friggin' I was trap this thing. I got it under a jar, and then I was like, I'm not going outside at this time of night. Like, so I had to like duct tape the jar to the floor to make sure it didn't come out in the middle of the night, and then just laid awake and heard it like flop around in a jar
You're killing it.
all night.
Just suffocating it to death.
Yeah.
But I wasn't about to like take care of it.
The long, slow death.
The long slow death.
But yeah, no. So just
Your first date where you
Yeah.
almost
Start
died.
at the beginning.
okay. So I was working for a currency exchange company.
He traveled like 280 days a year.
Yeah. I had
Oh my gosh.
Calgary. So I had Calgary, Alberta Airport,
Vegas.
Las Vegas, multiple spots in Vegas.
Oh, just airports.
Portland,
Yeah.
not just airports, but like Portland, Bellevue,
Hawaii.
Linwood, Hawaii, Boston on occasion, Sacramento Airport on occasion. So I flew all around, and I would just show up to these currency exchange places, and I'd have to be like, "Hey, it's me, the guy you don't want to see. I need to see all your
Show me all your
cameras."
CCTV.
Oh, you were just checking up on them.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
have to do like
Yeah.
audits.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so,
Well, you were in Boston for a like a 4-day.
so I was in
training
Boston
or
for a
something.
training, and I again just like recently single for the first time in
March
9 years.
26th, 2016.
And so so I was on Tinder, and Emma. So it was back in the time when like
Also on Tinder.
was also on Tinder, and there was a thing on Tinder where it would show you the old, like things that you had in common on Facebook.
Things that
Okay.
you both
Is
like.
2016 like early Tinder? I don't like. Was it
2
around
years?
for a while?
Like
Okay.
maybe
Yeah.
a year, 2 years.
Newish.
So
Okay.
they had this thing where like a
All the
feature
rage in the city, though.
where like Facebook or it would look at your Facebook profiles and let you know what like things you had in common. So we
Oh,
both
okay,
had
okay.
Father John Misty in common as likes, like music
Oh,
likes.
okay. Yeah.
And her name is Emma, and so
Spoiler
the
alert. Just kidding.
Is that a song title?
the first line, so the
The Chateau Lobby.
Chateau Lobby, like
Metaphor.
track 2 from "I Love You, Honey Bear" is all about his wife
Okay.
Who's
Emma.
also Emma.
And
Not me, though, sadly.
Wow.
Sorry.
Why don't you just have sex with him?
Yeah, why
Emma?
don't you just fuck
I
Father
love
John
you.
Misty?
I love you. Just go have sex with him.
Anyway, so the first line is Emma eats bread and butter the way a queen would have ostrich and cobra wine.
Oh.
And so I just sent her a position. I sent her my first opening message was like, "Hey, how do you feel about bread and butter?" And she responded with, "Similar to how I like ostrich and cobra wine." Zion. Second day was like Boston for 4th of July
Wow.
at like on White Beach and
We saw we're the Plymouth
Plymouth Rock.
Okay.
So like we were celebrating American independence in the heart of American
Plymouth
independence.
Rock. Also,
The worst,
yeah,
worst
0 out of 10.
national monument
It's
you could
the
possibly
Okay.
go see.
smallest
A
rock.
Canadian. What's Plymouth Rock again?
Okay, it's where,
Where
the Mayflower
landed.
hit.
The
oh, the
first-
boat. Yeah.
the big
Okay.
boat.
Got it.
But it's like
It's a
you
rock
think,
the
like,
size of this table.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
I was picturing
So
a big.
Surrounded by like granite and walls and like you're looking
and a
at just
fence,
like,
and people just throw like chip bags in it. Like, they can.
no trash as it deserves.
I mean, pretty American.
Yeah.
If,
So yeah, we were out there. So I went out for that, and then the third date was literally she flew into Vegas, and we stayed in like a super fancy
we also
hotel.
bonded over our hate of Vegas.
Yeah, I hate Vegas.
Oh,
So we
yes,
went out to
yes.
like Valley of Fire, which is incredible. It's like an hour and a half from Vegas in
Okay.
Nevada. Just a beautiful spot. And then we went out to Zion, which is 3 hours from Las Vegas. And then we were staying in this hotel 10 minutes from the gate to Zion,
Yeah.
sitting around this fire pit with this older couple, and they were like asking us like all these questions.
How long have you been
How long
together?
have you been
You
together?
guys
Like,
look, you're so
You
comfortable
guys
with
like, oh
each
my god,
other.
you guys like really? It's like,
I was like, this is our third date.
well, and I just said this thing. It's like, yeah, like and like, so what's like for the future? It's like, honestly, I'm just like really comfortable with where we are right now.
And in my
Worst-
head, like,
Oh.
I was like, we're
Worst
gonna
thing to
move
say.
in together. We're gonna get married. We're gonna have so many babies.
You're like, yeah, I'm just sleeping with her right now.
Yeah.
You know, every
No, we're
month
like-
or so.
Yeah, like,
Every month or so, we just bang. It's fine. It's totally cash.
no, the conversation, like in my mind, it was just like, we can't, like, as of right now, after coming out of a 9-year marriage,
Yeah.
that like
Was this before the I love you fight?
this was before I said I love
This
you.
is
Okay,
free,
okay.
I love you.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
free, I love you.
Got it.
But like, no, my concept was like just that, like, this is perfect for right now because she's
Yeah.
getting her master's degree.
Yeah.
She's nannying full time in Boston. I am traveling nonstop.
Yeah.
Like I'm in a different like hotel all the time, and when we see each other, it's perfect. But
Yeah.
we can't like, and then you just like, hey, this is the best 4 days of your life, and then like a month off back to your regular life. But there's
Yeah.
no point where we can disappoint each other until like the third time I came to Boston. We had like our first fight
Over a watch.
over a watch.
Oh no.
Another dude's Rolex.
Another
Oh.
Rolex.
A guy that you wanted to sleep with?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, probably.
Not another guy. No. Oh my God. Clay just got so wasted on rosé.
Oh my god, it was a rosé party. We started drinking it too.
Should I get rosé for the studio?
So many bottles of rosé.
No, you're not gonna do like. I know this is audio only, but I do not drink wine around people I don't know.
Yeah, like it's very touchy feely.
I
Okay.
get real.
Oh, okay.
There's
Beer
a
keeps
lot
me-
of
beer
hip
keeps me in bed.
swiveling and like
Yeah.
some clothes probably come off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wine's
So
a
he
special
was-
event. It's very
But-
Dionysus.
so how did the
There
watch
was a
come into
dude.
play?
We all drink rosé, but I was driving, so I wasn't wasted.
I was
He was so drunk, and I think it was our first time like seeing
each other.
me seeing.
wasted.
Well, I wasn't wasted because I drove.
right.
Remember, I drove us to that vegan place afterwards, and we were still fighting, and like the windows were fogging up, and I was like, "Let's just go get broccoli." But we're at this party, and he's wasted, and this dude has like a Rolex on, like super fancy watch, and Clay.
It was an Omega 50.
Okay.
Are you a watch guy?
He used to work
Yes.
for Swatch,
That was the thing.
but he wouldn't stop fucking commenting on it. Like literally, he'd be like, "That's a really nice watch," and then he'd say it 15 more times,
Oh, yeah.
and I was like, "Stop making him feel uncomfortable about his really nice, expensive watch." Like, we get it. He has a great watch. He freaking knows it. Shut up. And he just wouldn't stop. He wouldn't stop. And yeah, we left the party. We fought.
Hey, listeners. She thought I was making fun of him the whole time, not thinking
I did think that.
not thinking that I was actually appreciating and wanting to know more about where he got it and why he enjoyed
It
it.
doesn't seem genuine if you say it 1,000 fucking times in 1 minute.
Do you want to do an ad for the watch right now? Is
Sure.
it or for
Swatch.
rosé?
No.
For rosé.
Yeah, here we go.
Rolex.
3
Omega 3. It's a daily vitamin.
Omega 3 data.
I don't know.
All right. You do.
I told you.
No, we're gonna do.
Okay.
We're gonna do.
Okay.
You're gonna do.
What time is it?
What? No. You're gonna do. Wow. Rose. You should do the ad for
Okay,
rose.
okay.
Just rose. Blah blah blah. Whatever.
And what the effects of drinking rosé
Yeah.
are.
Rosé. It's the pink wine that makes you tell time with your fancy watch. Your beautiful fancy watch. It's so beautiful. Oh my god, is that watch? That's a really expensive watch.
Oh, I love it.
But yeah, and then we fought.
Hold on.
we left,
I have to
and
do an
then-
ad for Omega right
Okay,
now.
yeah, go.
Omega. Hide that shit.
Don't talk about it.
Never. Make sure if anyone talks to you, just make sure their girlfriend's not mad at you for talking to them.
You'll fight
about
for the
their
next 20 minutes.
incredible watch.
It's so beautiful.
Hide it. Throw it in the river. Omega. Throw it in the river.
The first rule of Omega is never talk about Omega.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I was super pissed about the freaking watch comments, and then we
Yeah.
drove to this like vegan place because we were starving, and we continued to
Are you
fight.
vegan?
No, we were
We were at the
vegetarian at the
time.
time.
Oh, okay.
But we continued to fight in the car, and like my old Subaru was just like fogged up. So we were like, "Stop talking about the watch." Finally, I was like, "I'm so hungry. We have to go eat broccoli." And then we went in and like ate broccoli. And then
Oh
we were
my god, I
fine.
love it. Yeah. And obviously you've gotten over it.
Yeah,
mean-
no, it's
Clearly, neither of us have watches on tonight, so
They trigger you? Yeah.
Yeah, they're
I'll hide
very
my, I'll
triggering.
hide my
the
watch.
Put that away.
concept.
I did not drink water for like 4 years. I just like was not. I mean, I drank water in high school, but
God.
not a lot.
What a
That,
sentence.
not
You
enough
didn't
to
drink
survive.
water for 4 years.
to the point where like I didn't. But I didn't
Why did
die.
you did you not drink water?
I just like. Okay, I was in high school.
Did you make a point of it?
I hated going to the bathroom. I don't know why. So I just was like, well, I'll just limit my like water intake. Mind you, I played like 3 sports
Oh
a
my
year.
god.
So like chronically dehydrated.
What did you play?
Soccer, indoor track, and tennis.
And you didn't drink water.
No, I peed once a day at school. I peed once in the morning, once a day at school, and once at night.
So 3 times a day.
3 times a day. But once a day at school, which is all that mattered. But yeah, I just like...
Just a solid copper stream coming out.
He's supposed to be bright, dark yellow, right?
Did you know, is this your first time hearing about this
I've
Clay?
never heard. I mean,
Oh,
I've
I
heard
love
about
this.
the story, but I have not heard those things like
So
3 sports and not drinking water.
turns out when you don't drink water for a very long time, over a couple of years, it doesn't like wash things out of your kidneys. So like
Yeah.
calcium can build up and
Yeah.
make kidney stones.
Yeah.
So I was like a freshman in college on my way to take a standardized test for my teaching license. I like get out of the cab and I'm like doubled over in the worst pain of my life. Like my back is being split open.
Oh my gosh.
You have had a child.
Was this worse?
Comparable.
Oh,
Really?
Comparable.
Yeah.
And I'm sobbing.
Oh no.
It's like 7 a.m. I have to go take this 4-hour test.
Yeah.
And I walk in and it was back when they had like proctors, you know. And
Yeah.
it was like all these like retired 80-year-old ladies. And they were like, honey, it's just a test. Like, don't be nervous. And I'm like, I think
You're like,
I'm
I'm dying.
dying. I really think I'm dying. And they're like, no.
It's just a panic attack.
You're going to pass the
You're
test.
fine.
You're so smart. And I'm like, can someone drive me to the hospital? And they're like, what? And I was like, no, like, I'm literally going to die.
Oh my
And
God.
one of the security guards was like, I mean, it's 2 blocks. And I was like, I can't walk. And she was like, okay, like, you can come in I'll take you in my car and I'll drive you to the ER. And so I got in her like Volvo station wagon. She drives me 2 blocks to the ER. I go to the ER. They like, you know, get you on a bed. Like, what's going on? And I was like, well, I have a kidney stone.
Yeah.
They gave me 3 bags of fluid and I didn't even have to pee. I was so dehydrated. Yeah.
Did they even try and give you water? You're like, no thanks.
No, I don't drink that.
Okay.
No, that's not for me. I haven't had that in years.
Thank you, no.
Thank you, no.
I'm
No.
off water right now.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that was my near death, I guess.
Wow.
But it was so bad to the point where like, also when I found out I had a kidney stone, which I had known like 2 days prior to the test,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to pass it on the test either, so I didn't drink any water. Which is like almost worse because there's like no lubricant for the stone to go through your kidneys.
Oh
So
my
it shredded
gosh.
my kidneys.
Oh my gosh.
And then, of course, I got 3 bags of fluid and then drank like
Yeah.
gallons of Gatorade. And
Yeah.
my mom came and like picked me up, and the whole
Yeah.
like 2-hour car ride from Boston to Connecticut, I was just like, ooh, ah, ooh.
oh my gosh.
But yeah, I guess I passed it. I don't know. It wasn't even
Yeah.
that big, but it
Yeah.
hurt so bad because I was so dehydrated. And then like months later, I had the worst like kidney pain every time I had like any caffeinated or like bubbly drink.
Oh.
And so I had to go to like a urologist, which anyone under 70 going to a urologist is like unheard of. So I'm sitting in this waiting office with like 80 to 90-year-old people. And they're like, what the heck is wrong with her?
What are you in here for? I have uterine cancer. What are you in here for? I don't like drinking water.
Ew, water's gross.
I love your Valley Girl voice. It's so funny.
So yeah, I had to go get like dye injected into my
Yeah.
kidneys to see like all the scar tissue because there
Yeah.
was a lot because
Yeah.
I had just fucked all of them up.
So you have a lot of scars. They're just inside.
They're just
you.
inside my body, internal scars. But also, I don't know if you've ever had dye injected up into your kidneys.
No.
I asked, I'm like, what is it gonna feel like? And she's like, well, it kind of feels like you're like peeing your pants. She's like, it's gonna get really warm.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm pretty sure I know what that feels like. And then the girl who
I do that
pees
3 times a day.
once a day. And she literally did it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm peeing everywhere. And she's like, you're not peeing at all. I was like, it's fine. And you have a lot of scar tissue in your kidneys. I'm like, cool.
So is that like, how does that affect you now? I mean,
I don't know.
I was gonna say you're a teacher, so I don't know about you, but like I have to hold it a lot because I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't leave these kids alone.
No.
So maybe maybe you've been training for this your whole life.
Maybe that is the
Yeah.
thing.
Can you have caffeinated
Oh yeah, I
beverages
drink coffee
now?
every day. I drink
Okay.
a lot of water.
Okay, that's good.
I feel like pregnancy was like the best thing because I was like, I have to drink water. Like it's
Oh.
not just about me; it's about the baby. And I drank so much water, and now I'm like, I was still on that kick. Like after I had Shiloh, and then now
She's thirsty AF.
thirsty AF.
So at your first like doctor appointment, like after you found out you're pregnant, were they like, you gotta start drinking water? We heard about you.
I know,
it's
right?
in your file.
Your baby's
Yeah.
gonna die if you don't drink water. My first symptom of pregnancy, when I was like the day before I took the test, was extreme thirst.
Really?
I was in the yard raking up the dead grass because our mower sweeper had broken, and Clay went to work, and he was like, "You're on summer break. You do nothing all day. Go outside and
I
rake
hear
all-
that.
Yeah, it sounds like a
Go outside and rake all the dead grass." And I was like, "It's July and it's 90 degrees." And he was like, "You'll be fine."
Yeah.
And so I was outside like raking all this dead grass, just burning my shoulders in the sun. And I was like, I'm so thirsty. And I drank so much water.
Yeah.
There was like this metallic taste in my mouth I couldn't get out unless I was chugging water.
Wow.
And then I took a pregnancy test the next day and I was like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. Yeah. The
Yeah.
day I found out, July 3rd, I wasn't late at all.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just going to take a test. Like, I'll probably get my period tomorrow and then I won't be pregnant. And then I took the test and I was like, oh my God, I'm like super pregnant. And then he was working at Farmstrong and I went to Farmstrong and just like holding it in. I was like, I don't want to text him. I don't want to call him. Like, I'll just tell him tonight.
Yeah.
And I go to Farmstrong and I go to the bar and he's like, do you want a drink? And I was like, oh my God, no. What? And he was like,
How
"No."
dare
He
you,
was like,
you
"What?"
monster.
And I was like, I'm gonna go sit with our friends. And then I sat with our friends, and then he got off work, and came over, and we were talking about like going on a date, and he was like talking about like boning that night, and then, like,
Wow.
married stuff. And then
I think this is like, cool. There was an earlier discussion, and I remember the thing I exactly said was like, so, are we hooking up tonight, or are you pregnant? And her face
I just started sobbing.
fell
and I was like,
apart.
I am pregnant. He was like, wait, what?
Are you serious?
And then he just grabbed my arm and ran out to the parking lot, and then he was sobbing because he.
Well, I just thought I was infertile for 10 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had tried for like
Oh, that's awesome.
6 weeks, and I was like, we'll get a year under our belt of trying, and
Yeah.
then like
So
then
crying,
we can go to
hugging.
fertility
Oh,
clinic.
that's
and-
Yeah,
awesome.
crying, hugging, and then the first words out of her mouth was "infertile my ass." Yeah, because
Infertile my uterus, I guess, is a better term.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah.
And then how many more are you going to have? Let's get this on record.
Great podcast.
Let's start a fight.
Yeah, right. Does anyone have a watch on and Omega watch?
That's good. Yeah. You still have 10 weeks left.
That's true.
Yeah, it comes in bottles too, but they're clear. And so I heard that the cans are better because the clear bottles like let the
light
light
pollution,
in
yeah.
and yeah.
All that light pollution in the city.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that is very good.
Yeah.
It's a very honey,
Very honey, very brown.
very brown.
This podcast brought to you by Sleeman's Honey Brown Lager. If you're ever in Canada, move.
We should probably end on that note.
Yeah, I think that's a good end.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.